Hello, DePaul Esports community members. Welcome to our very first live streamed community meeting. We are so excited to be chatting with you tonight to go over some updates with the DePaul Esports program and just to provide some updates about what's going on. So my name's Courtney James. If we haven't had the opportunity to meet before on Discord, I'm DPU Courtney, so you probably see me chatting there. But welcome to our meeting. We're excited to have you all here joining us tonight. So we've got some. We see you all, saying hi in the chat. Keep doing that. Let us know you're here. We're excited to have you. But as we get started, one thing I wanted to put on everybody's radar before we begin. You'll see this little QR code in the corner, and you probably saw a DHub link at the very top of the chat. We're encouraging you to check into today's event. You'll hear from us a little bit later. We're hoping to get more data about the esports community and about who's involved and everything. And we've got a little bit of an incentive for you all tonight. If you check in, you have the opportunity to win an Amazon Echo Dot. So if you're watching live, you can check in now. But if you're catching this as a video on demand, you can actually check in anytime until this Sunday. So we'll pick a winner and we'll announce it on our social media and then in Discord on Monday. But before we go any further, we wanted to start with some introductions. So Alex, I'll turn it over to you first.
Sure. Hey, everyone. My name is Alex Rodriguez, also known as Karma Juni. I am a Rocket League player, and I also work here at DePaul Esports, and I'm a senior studying computer science.
All right, then my name is Matt Burkholtz, also known as my screen name, Matt Beach. I'm a fan of all sorts of different games, whether they're big or small, and whether they have large communities or smaller communities. But as far as most of my competition goes, I'm definitely a big competitor in the Super Smash Brothers series of games, as well as other fighting games such as Street Fighter. And I do a lot of work at DePaul Esports. As far as putting events together, tournament organization, and general community management.
Oh, Tom, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I think you're muted.
Wait, how do I unmute?
You're unmuted now.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
The perpetual problem of virtual environment, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm Tom Prime, and I'm involved here with the FPS community. So you'll see me a lot in the FPS community playing games like Valorant, Overwatch. I'm a substitute for both of those teams, and I do a lot of social media and competitive team organization here at DePaul.
Yeah, so we know that a lot of you guys are probably familiar with Tom, Alex, and Matt, but we wanted to basically do a reintroduction of sorts as this newly branded esports leadership team. So over since our program's inception back in January of 2018. The leadership structure, if you will, of our program has looked very different, and really I think it's been because of it's looked different because we've had so many different forms, right? And we've been growing so fast. So when we pivoted to a virtual environment this past spring, we were able one of the benefits of this shift was we were able to take a minute and reset and figure out how we could provide resources within our means, if you will, to move forward and to continue to better the program. So we landed on this concept of an esports leadership team. So if you don't know, my normal day-to-day role is the director of student involvement. So one of my responsibilities is esports as part of that. We don't yet have standalone staffing resources at a professional level for esports. So that's where our student leaders come in. So since the Gaming Center isn't open, Tom, Alex, and Matt are paid student leaders who help execute different tasks and help manage the esports program. So you see each of them in different capacities. Matt takes on a lot of the communication roles. Alex helps with a lot of the live streams, helps manage the Stream and Demons, does a lot of different components that way. And Tom helps with our teams and community members. So moving forward, our hope is to continue to grow and develop this esports leadership team until we can, hopefully one day, fingers crossed, get some full-time staffing resources for the esports program to help us. But our hope is to continue to develop student positions so that we can continue to grow and manage and really support the program in the best way possible. So we wanted to start, as we continue going here, we wanted to start with a few updates for you about the fall. Some things you may know, some things you might not know, but just to give you an overview of really where we're at as we head into this first meeting. To begin, I know a lot of you are probably active in our Discord. What you might not realize is we currently have 981 people in our Discord. So we're really, you'll hear a little bit later, we're hoping to do some enhancements to that Discord community to continue conversation and dialogue in a new and different way. But we're really proud of that number. This fall, we actually so far also have 16 verified teams as part of the program. In those 16 teams, we have 98 students participating. This fall, they competed in, or you all, I should say, you all competed in 102 matches. The caveat to that is you competed in 102 matches that we know about. So I know that you all are, you have pickup games, you have competition, you might be in leagues that we don't yet have information about. So we only know about 102, which when you consider fall quarters 10 weeks, that's over 10 matches a week. And we know that competition really for a lot of our teams picked up in October after we did our coordinated tryout effort in early fall. So outside of those competitive matches, we also had 72 gaming league and community events. So that was things outside of this. So all of the, the DePaul Gaming League that we had, career chats, you'll hear about that here in a minute. We had 72 different opportunities that way too. And our total viewership for fall was really a staggering 5,400 people. So we thank you. We thank you for being involved in the community, and we hope to continue to grow here in the months to come this year and in the years to come moving forward. So I'm going to turn it over to Alex to talk a little bit about the DePaul Gaming League.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Courtney. So yeah, to kind of recap about the DePaul Gaming League, over the fall semester, the DePaul Gaming League ran 10 different recreational single-day tournaments. These tournaments were open to all DePaul community members and spanned through a variety of different games ranging from PC to console. Some of those games included Rocket League, League of Legends, Overwatch, Valorant, Mario Kart, Smash Bros, and even more. And each tournament saw a great deal of talented DePaul players. We met a lot of really, really great skilled players that ended up taking multiple wins. So that was awesome to see. And each tournament was hosted and commentated by I Play Games' Kevin Fair, which added a really cool Twitch portion to it as well. So people were interacting in the chat, which was always a lot of fun. And while we are currently taking a break from the DePaul Gaming League this semester, look out because it will be back later this year. And yeah, kind of continuing the recap, also over the summer and a little bit of the fall, we ran the career chats. And these career chats featured alumni, faculty, staff, and university partners within the esports industry. The career chats were streamed live through DePaul Esports' Twitch and Facebook, very similar to the setup that we have going for you guys right now. And it was really neat because it was a great opportunity to interview these panelists and get to know more about their educational backgrounds, their outlook on the esports industry, as well as COVID-19's impact on esports as it was kind of emerging. And it was also interesting because viewers could drop a comment either on Facebook or Twitch, and then the panelists could just answer it live, which was a really cool experience, I think, for everyone. And if you're interested in watching them and you may have missed them, all these interviews are available on our YouTube page. So yeah, definitely go check those out. And they were a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll see something like that return in the future.
Yeah, so one of the things that we really hoped to do this year was just increase our overall content. So that was why part of the reason we developed the career chats, and part of the reason you started just seeing, hopefully you started seeing more streams come from DePaul Esports. So another one of the ways that we did that, and sorry, I'm getting my Chicago Tribune updates here. One of the ways that we did that was through an event called the Build a PC demo. So Matt, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I would love to. So the Build a PC demo was a really cool event that we did, more like a live stream that we did over the fall quarter, where Phil and Manny of DePaul Esports staff were able to kind of like get into the nitty gritty of like how to build a PC. So this was really, really helpful because this was able to like kind of show everybody that like maybe hasn't ever actually built a PC. Maybe they bought some before or has never built a PC before and is like looking to try and get into it. Since, you know, so many different like competitive games nowadays are played on computers, are played on like PC gaming. And yeah, it was a really great tutorial. I mean, you could see me deep in thought in the screenshot. I have never built a PC before. I'm not much, I, at least up to now, have not been that much of a PC gamer. But because of this video, this was actually incredibly informative to tell me how I can kind of put a bunch of parts together, kind of be able to figure out what's going to be able to fit where, and anything else that's necessary for that. So if you weren't able to catch the live stream for this is up on our YouTube channel. So if you're looking to get into PC gaming and kind of want to build your own PC, maybe you've heard all the great things about building one as opposed to just buying one, I highly recommend checking it out. And something else that was really great that we were able to do over the fall quarter was our affiliation with Gamers.vote. Over the fall quarter, we were at DePaul University. It was actually the very first university to become affiliated with Gamers.vote. And through the partnership, we were able to encourage voter engagement through inciting some discussion during our DePaul Gaming League live streams, through different posts over on Discord, and through a live stream actually, where we were able to interview two of the representatives from Gamers.vote. So that was really great to do, and it was really great to get the word out that voter engagement is important. And you know, it's worth mentioning that it's always important. It's not just during election years. So you know, we'll obviously be planning to like encourage voter engagement across everybody and across like the communities that we can reach out to as best as we can in the future.
Thanks for that, Matt. Yeah, and I want to give a kudos to you and Alex in particular for some of the live streams. I know, like, I mean, generally, it's hard to learn how to, like, be a host on for a lot of these, and I know that was a new skill set that both of you built this year, and you both did a really great job. So I'm sure we're going to have more upcoming here in the future.
Yeah.
Whoop. Okay, so yeah, so Matt, you want to continue and do a little bit of introduction about some of the changes to our Discord?
Yeah, so as I'm sure many of you know, as it was mentioned earlier, we have like a gazillion people in our Discord server, well over 900 at this point. And over the past quarter, we've made a lot of efforts to kind of freshen things up a little bit, make it look a little bit more organized. You know, instead of having a bunch of channels that are either like not very helpful, a little bit unnecessary, or just placed in a really weird spot, so you might be losing information that you really need, or you might have trouble finding it. Now things are a lot more streamlined, so it helps out with like it helps out a lot with like checking out announcements, upcoming events, details for competitions and upcoming tournaments that our teams are getting involved in, or results. And you know, just in general, like being able to communicate with your fellow students and community members. So we try to do whatever we can to like make things a little bit better. Obviously, things will always change as things go on, so we might make more changes down the line. But this quarter specifically, we've made a lot of changes that I think are really good and helpful to making sure that the experience is as good as possible for everybody.
Yeah, and the same is true for like, of course, we're trying to make sure that it's clear when our esports teams are participating in like competitive events, you know, posting the live streams from whether it's like the tournament broadcasting the match or a player, right? And also just like making sure that events are visible and you get like reminders about them and all of that as well.
Yeah, and I think to kind of show behind the curtain here about why, or just to talk about it, I guess, a little bit further about why some of those changes happened in our Discord. That was entirely driven by Tom, Alex, and Matt. Like they, I think when we initially built our Discord years ago, we like turned it on and we didn't do a whole lot. We may have added things here and there, but it was really, and I don't know if you guys want to speak to this at all. It was really driven with the hope that, or like it was designed with the intention that we want to see more engagement in the community. We want to see, like, we're happy to share information about what matches are coming up. Obviously Matt does the Monday announcements, but we really want to encourage you all to put that information in too. And we'll, when we're able to, if we're on Twitch, we'll host your streams. Like we're going to help promote when we see it. But we really do want to encourage you all to do as much as you can to continue to be an active member, an active contributor to the community too.
Yeah, I think it's
well,
really,
great. So, go ahead, Matt.
I was just gonna say, I think it's really important to be able to have that hub because we have so many different communities. All of them are kind of like reserved into their own like sections. So having that place of unity is really important to us. Like having that place where everybody can get information that's relevant to them and also learn about what's going on in the other orgs. Having that resource is really important. So that's why we want to make it that's why we want to make it as good as it can be, and really emphasize engagement for everybody.
Yeah, and especially for like our competitive student leaders, like there's always an opportunity, like post your matches. Like for us, it's very hard to like keep up to date with like everything that's happening, especially with reschedules and all of the other things that are factors in like, oh, like I really want to keep track of like, what's happening this week for like CSGO, right? But it's like very hard if things are rescheduled and all that. So yeah.
Right. And I also wanted to bring up, with like remote learning and obviously everything going online for this semester. I mean, we want the esports Discord to kind of be like a hub. You can meet new people there. You can find people who play maybe the game that you like. Even if it's not a game that we necessarily like sponsor, I mean, you can always just find someone with common interests and maybe just start a dialogue from there.
Well, Alex, that is like the perfect transition to the next thing that we were going to talk about. So we did want to do just a little bit of an overview about, what teams and titles we're currently sponsoring in this remote environment. Because as you'll see here in a second, we're definitely expanding and growing. I remember, and Alex, at least on this call, probably remembers back in 2018 when the only officially endorsed teams that we had were Rocket League and League of Legends, and we've definitely got more. So, Tom, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, of course. So we have like a good amount of we have all of our old teams, right? A lot of these teams were participating, and some of them were sanctioned, some of them are now sanctioned, right? And one of the ones that is missing on here is Rainbow Six, just because they haven't been verified yet. But yeah, our newest additions this year definitely include Call of Duty and Valorant. And within spring of last year, we also added R6. And yeah, I'll move on to explain some of the invitationals or showdowns that we've done this week or this year. And also talk about all of the events that we've, all of the leagues that we're participating in currently. So yeah, we just held our first iteration of the Vincentian Cup, which was an esports showdown between universities with Vincentian values. And this, of course, included Niagara, DePaul, and St. John's. And these teams competed in Smash, Overwatch, League of Legends, and Rocket League. And for this year, St. John's beat us out by 1 point, winning the Vincentian Cup. And then it was us, and then Niagara University. And then upcoming soon, actually, is
Tom, before you go on, as a staff member at the university, the one thing I wanted to say, like, from there was there was probably more conversation about this singular standalone tournament than any other standalone tournament. Like esports people just generally are talking about more and more as administrators, but this was really cool because it was a great showcase of our, how esports could integrate with the university mission. And, I know you all get Newsline. You probably don't read Newsline every day, but at least you get it. And so you probably see some of the like integrations with mission and everything. So I think like this, if you remember in the gaming center, we have that big sign that says "Good luck, have fun, be Vincentian," and to see this tournament as a manifestation of that, I think was just, as like the staff member who works with esports, I was just generally very, very proud. But it was cool just to hear from other people too about how they saw now esports fitting into the whole lifeblood of the university through the mission. So I just wanted to share that for everybody watching.
Yeah, thank you. And then something coming up very soon actually is our annual State Street Showdown on February 20th. And I just wanted to sort of reiterate that last year this was against Robert Morris University, and it still essentially is, because Robert Morris University has merged with Roosevelt University. So it's the same showdown we've always had, and we plan to continue it. And this year we'll be introducing a new title of Valorant as like an additional thing to include over Overwatch this year, just because of the teams that both universities were able to have for this event. And we also might be looking to introduce a few additional titles that we might be announcing soon. Onto the leagues that we are involved with. One of the big ones that the DePaul Esports program has started with is the Big East Esports League. And it's been ongoing through the winter season, and that has wrapped up, and the spring season is coming up soon. So definitely be on the lookout for the live streams regarding this event and the championship eventually.
Hey, Tom, we had a timely question come in for you. Somebody wants to know if you're going to be featured in Valorant for the State Street Showdown.
I am not sure. I am a substitute for Valorant, so we'll have to see what our Valorant student lead needs. Anyone that is on our Valorant team is pretty much able to participate, so it really depends on availability. Yeah, thank you, Tim. As for another league that we are involved with, this is the Electronic Gaming Federation, also known as EGF. And our EGF season wrapped up right before winter break and should be returning sharply in February. And this is for our Overwatch, Rocket League, and Smash varsity teams. The playoffs for EGF will be occurring later into this spring season for the championship. And also a huge congratulations to Courtney for joining the EGF Board of Governors.
Thanks, Tom.
And onwards to Collegiate Star League. So Collegiate Star League, we have our League of Legends teams and Rocket League teams involved in, and we also have Valorant and CSGO participating in. And I believe these typically happen on Saturdays, but yeah.
They at least on their schedule, they at least, and granted, maybe somebody can post in the chat how they do it, but they oftentimes, I think, compete on Saturdays. But a lot of our CSL teams are really good about saying when if they're doing a live stream, they're good about putting it in the DePaul Esports stream Discord as well.
And then a brand new league, actually. So FACEA has opened new leagues for Counter-Strike, Valorant, and Rainbow Six, which we have our CSGO and Valorant teams participating in. So this is not, I don't believe they've had a single match yet, but this should be upcoming in this season.
Yeah, they just got registered this week, so we should be seeing competition begin in FACEIT here in a couple weeks.
And then the College COD League. So our Call of Duty team over winter break has ran tryouts and has been formed, and they've signed up for the College COD League, which is a competition in North America with over 170 university teams. So honestly, all I have to say is best of luck in your scrims and matches, and we're looking forward to it. And then, of course, our VR team will continue participating in the Collegiate VR Esports Leagues for Beat Saber. And honestly, when I heard about this, I was like, wow, this is like definitely the future. So I'm excited to see how this can go in the future as well. And then another tournament that our Overwatch teams, and I believe Smash, have participated in is the Game On Chicago tournaments. They host tournaments in, I think, Valorant, Overwatch, and Smash. And we're looking forward to joining any tournaments in the future. And then the GG League spring season is also on the horizon, and we as an organization plan to get a variety of our teams involved for that as well. And I believe they have leagues coming up for League of Legends, Overwatch, Valorant, and Rocket League.
Yeah, so Tom, I would add to this. So our League of Legends and Overwatch teams have committed to participating. So of that team breakdown, we have 5 League of Legends teams. We have a varsity, 2 JV, and 2 academy. So all 5 of the teams from that title are going to be competing. Overwatch is committed, I believe, Tom, right?
Yeah.
2 of the teams. Yeah. So we're still waiting to hear from Valorant and Rocket League. So for our student leadership in those titles, if you're listening, just a reminder, we're asking everybody to let us know by January 15th if you're planning to participate, so that we can go and get a staff or a student organization funding request to help cover the cost for all the teams at the same time. So looks like we've got somebody saying one of our Academy Black teams is in there too. So yeah, so it should be some more great competition. And actually, Tom, before we move on, we did have a question come in. Somebody asked about what TESPA is becoming yet. I don't know if anybody's heard anything about it. For those of you who haven't heard, they decided to dissolve TESPA in 2021. I haven't heard yet what they're going to be putting in its place. I know that there's been a lot of conversation around through administrators, but I don't know if anything's been formalized. Have any of you heard?
Yeah, so I attended the TESPA chapter meeting when they made this announcement, and I know what is indefinitely going down is the chapter support for universities just because of COVID-19 and all of that. But I believe that the way that TESPA will be facilitating their leagues is it'll continue, just not under the TESPA name, rather the actual games name. So for example, for Overwatch, it'll go under for example, maybe Overwatch League or just like the Overwatch name in general. So the league, I believe, will continue, but it won't be called TESPA anymore, I think. But as I get updates for that, I should be informing everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, Tom. So one of the other, Tom obviously did a great overview of all of our competitive teams, but we also have a lot going on in our recreational league. So most upcoming is an opportunity with Minecraft. So Alex, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, no problem at all. So on January 17th at 6 p.m. Central Time, Minecraft will be hosting a base tour event. You can sign up through the DePaul Esports Discord as well as get more information there. Just make sure you sign up before January 16th to have your base featured within the tour. If your base is not yet complete, that's perfectly okay, and it can still be featured. A lot of the judging has to do with how impressive it is, the creative level, all sorts of stuff. So really, if it's not complete, don't stress it at all. After the tour is complete, there's going to be a voting process, and the three most voted bases will receive some of the great DePaul merch that you can see here. There's an awesome looking light, a hat, as well as a speaker. And in addition to the DePaul merch, you also get a bunch of in-game items. So some of those can include a red chest trophy, an enchanted golden apple, as well as a beacon. And there's many other ones. And I think all participants will get 3 free in-game diamonds. So, what's not to love about that? So yeah, it's going to be a great time, and we hope to see some cool bases there. And like I said, to find out more or to sign up, head over to discord.gg/DePaul Esports.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with how the Minecraft server in general has played out, and a lot of great builds in there as well.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of people that put a tremendous amount of work into the server. So it's really cool. It's an awesome community, and it's cool to see how it's built up over the past few months.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
As a funny aside, so I truly have been trying to get to know all of these games a little bit more, so I can at least have a very baseline conversation with everybody about it. So I tried to start playing Minecraft, and within the first 5 minutes, I got killed by the wizard twice, and I drowned. I didn't even know you could die in Minecraft. I'm gonna need a tutorial, guys. I am not good at it.
Yeah, it can be a pretty brutal game sometimes.
Yeah. It was just amazing. I was really? Who would have thought? Because I hear about Minecraft when I go to, when I'm in these esports chats, people talk about how it's this great learning tool and how people use it in education or elementary schools. And it is when I watch it and even when I see what our students are doing, it's really cool. But I cannot get used to it at all. But Alex, I'll turn it back over to you to talk about EsportsEDU too.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, so this is something I'm really excited about. Looking into the future, DePaul Esports is really happy to announce EsportsEDU powered by HyperX. What this is EsportsEDU is basically a 6 to 8 week streaming series that gets to know the different teams, communities, and organizations that are part of the DePaul Esports program. Each week, you can join in and hear about the esports leadership team as they discuss their with student leaders and captains about their group and teams, the influences of the game that they play, the opportunities for engagement, and more. And while a lot of the dates are still to be determined, our first EsportsEDU event will feature DePaul Rocket League and will take place on January 21st at 5:30 Central Time. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be awesome to get a little peek into every little community. So yeah, hope to see you guys there.
Yeah, and what I think one of the cool things about it too is like it's hosted by you guys, so you're gonna get to talk about like, you know, potentially, I mean, I imagine like in-game strategy, and you all know the players, so I think it's gonna be a really great opportunity. But before we keep going, we did have a question pop up about how you join the Minecraft server. So Alex, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure, Jonathan. So yeah, if you want to join the Minecraft server, make sure you're in our Discord if you're not already. If you are not, you just head over to discord.gg/DePaul Esports, and from there, just make a free account and join the Discord. From there, there is a channel called like a Minecraft channel, and there you can get like the IP address and all the information you really need. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop something in the Minecraft chat or even in general, and everyone there is really happy to help you if you get lost along the way. So yeah, I hope that helps.
Yeah, and especially if you haven't been in our Discord before, and you joined the first time in that general chat, we have a lot of people who come in for the first time and need a little bit of help and direction. So feel free to ask those questions either there or in the ask a question part 2. We're always happy to help. So you know, as we talked a little bit earlier about this new model for our esports leadership team, and one of the things that we're going to be featuring or offering to all of our teams and communities moving forward is a liaison program. So Matt, Tom, and Alex have each been assigned a different competitive team or community that they're going to serve as the main liaison for. So guys, I'll turn it over to you to talk a little bit about the program.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we were kind of talking about, kind of along the same lines of what we were talking about earlier when talking about how, you know, the Discord server is really important for making sure that we get updates on everything that's going on with all the different clubs, like not just for the students, but, you know, also for us. The liaison program kind of works in that same train of thought. So this is intended to be a brand new like direct communication strategy to make things a lot more streamlined between our individual communities, our competitive teams, as well as the esports leadership staff members. So in other words, basically, it's just going to be a good way for us to like directly talk to like a representative or two from each of the different clubs. We have a bunch of teams and organizations listed below, and we just talk to them directly, asking like, you know, is there anything that you want to give us in terms of like organization updates, team roster updates? What was the exact score for like your last, your league match? Did you win the? How have you guys been doing in your scrims? Is there any problems with like with the organization? Like, is there any like drama, or is there anything else that like we need to know about? Anything that's along those lines. Having this liaison program makes it much faster and a lot more simple to kind of organize everything organize everything in a very streamlined fashion to where we get the information that we need as quickly as possible, so that way we can either relay the information off to the rest of you guys, or we can use it to public, or we could use the information like when we make up like our new posts, like talking about like, hey, our CS:GO team is doing phenomenal in their league right now. They're up like 5-0 or something like that. Having that information at the ready a little bit more quickly allows us to share that information a lot more quickly as well. So if to any student leaders that are watching, either through the YouTube video on demand or through this stream right now, if you think that your community or your team should be a part of this program in one way or another, like if you guys are in the middle of a competition currently, or if you have an organization that's constantly putting out like new events with people joining, feel free to reach out to one of us. We can try to work something out, especially if you are actively involved in a bunch of different activities. Please let us know. We'd love to keep things growing here.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, I guess, so like for me, it's like basically Call of Duty, Rainbow Six, Valorant, Overwatch, and CS:GO. So like for me, I'll be talking with those 5 team members, team leads, and we'll basically try and keep communication going so that if there is any needs, if there are any needs, or if there is anything that should be communicated, it's much easier to basically relate to like DePaul Esports in general. And the same is true for Matt, who I believe you communicate with Smash and League of Legends, and then Alex communicates with Rocket League and Minecraft. Oh, and
Beat Saber as well.
Yeah, and Beat Saber, my bad, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be communicating with you guys, and I know I reached out to the student leaders already in Discord, but yeah, it's gonna be exciting, and I'm happy to touch base month to month and just to keep communication open. I think it'll be great.
Yeah, well, and I think what Tom started touching on, and what Alex and Matt I think allude to as well, like the liaison, we developed the liaison program with the intention to make it hopefully as easy as possible for you all to get whatever you might need to be successful in the program. So I, as much as I wish the only part of my job could be esports, I have other responsibilities in student involvement too. So if you ever, I'm always happy to help if you need it. But the hope really is that, if you need assistance with applying for either the student organization fund now or the student activity fee when we eventually when that is eventually re-implemented, that your liaison can help with that process, can walk you through that, and can really be that general knowledge base that you need to be successful for your team or for your community. Yeah, so moving forward, one of the things that we wanted to just kind of put on everybody's radar, I think we oftentimes get questions about like what's next, or like what are you, I get asked constantly, like what do you want to do next with the program, and I think like especially some of our short-term priorities, this is really what kind of comes to mind for us. So first, as you probably see from the Discord with these meetings, with all of these different things that we're really trying to have more community-wide events and connection, especially virtually. One of the things that we're hearing from all students, not just esports, actually we probably hear it less from esports students because you all, it was easier for you to transition to the real world or to the virtual world. But we know that people are missing that lack of connection right now because obviously we're still in a pandemic. We're getting into the winter quarter, and the winter blues are real. So people are just generally, there's a higher likelihood that people might be dealing with loneliness. So we really do want to do more things like this to promote connection and promote community amongst all people in our esports program. So that's definitely, I think, at the forefront of our mind. One of the other things that we're really working to do more of is to collect information on matches, so that we can help with team promotion. The other thing, I'll be honest with you, as you probably saw at the beginning of this meeting, we had a data graphic that had all of our data points. One of the things that I'm trying to do to continue to leverage I'm hoping to continue to leverage data to get additional resources or additional attention to the esports program. So we're collecting all of this information so that we can tell a robust narrative about the esports program to other DePaul administrators, because like while you all, or a lot of you as student gamers, might want to talk about in-game competition or about what's going on in your titles, the administrators oftentimes talk numbers. So I really, and I've been challenging Alex, Matt, and Tom to think about like how can we continue to tell a narrative about the esports program, both about the impact that it's having for the students who are participating, but also one that's data driven, so that we can continue to further the program through that narrative as well. Then one of the other things I'll share, you're hopefully going to see some information on this soon. We're actually hoping to expand our esports leadership team. So one of we keep talking about promotion of the program. We're actually hoping to implement a marketing specific position. This position will focus on some of the overall messaging around the program. They'll help with the weekly recording videos that I'm currently putting out if you haven't seen those, and they'll just help with some of like the big picture marketing things. So we're currently working on a description for that, but we are, like I mentioned, we're hoping to expand the esports leadership team. So you'll see some information on that upcoming. Then the other thing, obviously, once we are able, we want to make sure that we have a solid reopening plan for the gaming center when we're actually able to reopen. The thing I keep saying is the pandemic will eventually end, right? We will eventually be able to gather in person. So we want to make sure we have a solid plan in place for the esports program for that transition back to potential in-person activities while still supporting our remote teams in competition as well. So with that, if anybody has any additional questions, things that you'd like for us to talk about, even if you're just like curious about things, we're here. We're happy to answer any of that. If you haven't yet, I also wanted to remind you to scan and check into the today's event. Oops, clicked it twice. Scan the code or click the link at the very beginning of the Twitch conversation for your chance to win an Echo Dot. So we're going to leave the check-in open until Sunday, so you can check in anytime between now and Sunday so that you can have a chance to win that Echo Dot. So I'll switch views here for a second and go back. It looks like we got a question in here. So when are we going to have a DePaul team on Twitch?
So I know exactly what he's talking about. It's something that I've been trying to look into and I've been trying to push forward. It's basically, so we have the streaming demons, right? But there's something that a lot of people really enjoy, and it's like a streaming hub on Twitch. And it's something that I've seen other universities also have like adapted. And I'm trying to reach out and talk about this and hopefully bring it up at our next meeting for sure with more details.
Yeah, and kind of go off that. I mean, just kind of what I found on the website when I had looked this up a few days ago is that you do require a partnership with Twitch, but I think there is a way to get around that, especially since we're like an established org. So yeah, we're going to work to get that and hopefully have it soon. But yeah, thank you for the question.
Yeah, definitely elevate the whole experience with getting the streaming demons together, making sure that like not only do they get a shout out on like the DePaul side of things, but they also get a direct shout out on the Twitch side of things. They get acknowledged as being like affiliated under one umbrella. So we're gonna try our best to get that sorted out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Great. Well, as we wrap up here, guys, I'm just curious, and I didn't ask this beforehand, but what are you most looking forward to as we head into winter quarter? Anything on the docket that you're just like, I'm stoked for this?
Definitely. I think the State Street Showdown looks pretty exciting. I'm excited for that as of right now. I'm also excited for something else in the later on that hasn't been announced yet, but yeah.
Yeah, no, for me also probably the State Street Showdown. I mean, being a Rocket League player, that'll be a lot of fun to play during that, and then also just to watch it. It's always a lot of fun, and yeah, I can't wait. It's coming up, and I think maybe a close second would be the EsportsEDU because I think those talks will be really cool to get insight from some other orgs that I might not be as familiar with.
Yeah, for me, I think it's now that I think by now that we're in winter quarter, we have a good handle on like how we can keep as many of our teams like competing on leagues that are happening online as much as possible. As time's gone on, we have more and more teams getting involved in more and more leagues. I'm really excited to see how our teams for all of our different games are going to be able to stack up against so many different universities in so many different like leagues, whether it's part of like a conference or if it's part of like just a miscellaneous group of like schools competing. I just really want to see how we're able to stack up against other people now, not just in our comfort zone, not just in Chicago, but now all across the country. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to go.
Yeah, and of course, spring season is usually for most, leagues kind of like a championship season, and I think that's when players get most excited. They practice the most. They start getting ready for that. Like for Overwatch, it's like the round of 64, right? The final couple, basically, like throughout the whole year, all of the seeding that has happened, basically up for this spring finale of the academic year, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I'm looking forward to. I'm surprised nobody commented on this, but so as I think many people may be aware, typically the program has only officially endorsed titles that are rated T and below. And honestly, I'm shocked that nobody said anything about it, because it's one of the things that I'm pretty excited about. And I think through this pandemic and through this remote setting, it's been a chance for us to change the narrative about particularly like why it is important for us to officially endorse teams with mature titles, because it is this great point of connection. I mean, we have 2 CSGO teams and a Call of Duty team, and pending like the team verification, also a Rainbow Six team. And like the thing that's important about that is actually the community that is being built because of it, right? It's not like, yes, they might be playing a mature title, but it's also this chance for more students to connect. So I'm really excited that like this is in this remote setting, we have a chance to test that a little bit, right? Like, and I think that's hopefully you're going to start to see some other things there too. But I'm also just like, I'm excited to. It feels like we're moving forward, and like we know what's going on. And that might seem like kind of a weird comment, but for those of you that have been around for a little while, like sometimes it feels like, how many teams do we have? What's going on? And like, it finally feels like we actually like we're on a direction and we're all moving forward together. So, and we just have so much excitement in this, like I've been really appreciative in like through Discord for the chance to connect with some of the student leaders who are new to the community, and just to hear their passion and excitement has been awesome. Like Kevin's super excited about Call of Duty, and Angel's like super excited, like he's like amped to go for CSGO. And like we've had these traditional teams, but we just have this this passion and excitement with our students that I think it's going to be contagious. And people around the university are starting to notice. So I think that's going to be really cool as we continue to grow and develop.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I think it's a really good it's a really good like landmark point for us as far as like growing as like not just as a community, but also like as an organization, just being able to kind of like mark the next step forward. It's like, now that we're accepting these games more, now that the school is officially like being able to sanction them, we can really start to acknowledge parts of our of the esports community that may not have gotten as much attention previously. And I think that's definitely really exciting. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, well, so, to everybody watching on Twitch, Facebook, wherever you might be watching this, thank you so much for joining. We weren't sure how this was going to go, and I've loved, trying to see in the chat and see what people are excited about, and some of the shout outs. But thank you for participating in the esports community. Thank you for being involved. Always, if you ever have any questions, comments, suggestions, you can always reach out, right? Like, or if you have an idea, like reach out. If you're a student leader, to your liaison, you can reach out to me. You can post it in the Discord. You probably all have that information, but just in case you don't, our Discord is discord.gg/DePaul Esports, and our email is esports@depaul.edu. So you're always welcome to send information there, and we're happy to connect in any way that we can. So before we turn off the stream here, though, guys, do you want to talk a little bit about the second part of this event, the game night that's about to take place in the Discord?
Yeah, of course. So after this, we'll be joining the Discord, and we'll be looking at playing either Broken Picture Phone, Among Us, Jackbox, or really anything that any of the community members that are available now are interested in. So in the future, we'll try and basically advertise this game night more so, because I think today we had a longer kind of recap and announcement in general, but in the future, it'll just be like the updates, right? And then a game night, basically. And we'll try and make it more clear what we're doing. But yeah, today it's a bit smaller of an announcement over the whole meeting, but yeah.
Great. Well, give us about 5 minutes, then we'll be over in that Discord. But again, thanks everybody for joining, and we will plan to see you for the February meeting. Night, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
See you guys.